I can tell you countless times that my mother worked so many hours and had so many jobs, but like every night when we would go to bed, she would read me Bible stories and she would talk about Jesus with me and she would pray with me. And then I remember many times as a kid waking up and I would actually like look in their bedroom and there would be my mother 10 o'clock at night with her Bible open and her journal open. And those are the things that impressed on me even more than the intentional things she said to me, was the intentional ways that she was with her walk with Jesus. And that's always stuck with me. It's something that I know for many, many years I'm just going to treasure even those moments of seeing that happen.
Hi, I'm Tyler Piechek. I am Denise Piechek's son, the eldest, the best son. The thing that made, kind of helped the most in me growing up and, making my faith my own was just seeing mom and dad really live it out themselves and, make the family, make that part of the family liking what we did, and having that kind of built into the lifestyle that you emulated.
I think one of the main things that my parents did that really had a huge impact on my life was just that they were an example to me. Not only did they just talk about what it meant to be a Christian, they didn't just talk about what it looked like to do devotions. They didn't just talk about what it meant to go to church, but they did all of those things.
She just loved God and told us how much He loved us, read to us, prayed, sang all the time, and made it a priority in her life, so it was a priority in our life too.
When I was growing up, my parents, and my siblings and I, we all read the Bible every night. We prayed before we went to bed. We prayed before every meal. It was just kind of part of what we did. Jesus was there, and it wasn't even a question.
They lived a genuine faith. They were wonderful parents. At the same time, they didn't defend the Christian faith in a way that didn't allow me to self-discover. So I think leaving room for your child to grow in the faith however he or she wants is a huge piece of the puzzle when it comes to raising a child in a Christian home.
I think what I experienced from my parents in my years growing up in a Christian family that was so beneficial in me responding to Christ was just how I watched my parents be dependent on the Lord, whether things were really good or things were really hard, in seasons of joy or seasons of challenge. My parents went through a really hard season when I was in high school where my dad lost his job, and I saw them hold on to the Lord and really trust Him just like they did when things were great.
And then to see them follow that out in their own lives, to be carrying out the life that they wanted me to be living, had a big impact on me in that it made me want to be more like them, made me want to be more like Christ.
Hi, I'm Nathan Piechek. My parents helped me choose to follow Jesus by just leading by example and getting me into the church and involved in the church and just showing me what it means to be a Christian.
I think one of the most powerful things that my dad would do to encourage me is if I was struggling with my attitude, if I was struggling with a certain sin in my life, he would just say, "Nate, why don't you go spend some time alone with the Lord?" And in my flesh, I'd be like, "That's the last thing I want to do. That's the last thing I want to hear." But it was the best thing I could do in those moments is actually go spend some time and talk to the Lord about it and get in a heart attitude to where I could go back to my parents and say, I'm sorry for my attitude.
Some things that my parents did were they constantly encouraged me to go to church, and they always wanted me to come. We also we had a consistent Bible time where we would read together and we'd learn and we'd just grow together as a family in Christ.
But what I really found significant about my family growing up was that every opportunity we had in our youth ministry, they encouraged us to participate in. My sister and I were very actively involved, and we loved everything we did. We went on mission trips, we went to retreats, we did service projects, and it was really, really beneficial, and it shaped our faith a lot.
Honestly, the combination of family meals, praying at dinner, Dad would read Bible stories with us before we went to bed, and just walking out our faith was huge.
Watching them serve in children's ministry in all different kinds of ways was really what showed me that Christ had a heart for the lost and had a heart for all, and that heart was extended to me.
I'm Lee Spitek. I am the youngest of the Spitek clan, and looking back, I basically lived at the church, which they say that it's hard to not do something when you're in close proximity to it. So, I mean, when a relationship with Jesus is so intimate and such a relational thing, the best thing that you can do is just be the exposure. So, I mean, really what makes you a Christian is what God shows you and what you feel with Him and what that relationship is. So you can't force that, but the best thing you can do is just make it available and make it a part of their life. So just being prayed with, reading the Bible, and literally living at the church and never going home are really what made my relationship what it is today.